and I'll go with him in how he runs his team. Because regardless, he's a guy that loses a lot of his assistant coaches based on promotions, and we saw that last year, lose the defensive coordinator. He's coaching the Arizona Cardinals. But his program continues to be successful. So for me, yes, Cam Newton, yeah, he's the big name, the marquee name in the franchise, but it starts with Ron Rivera, how they're going to play football. And last year, he decided, I believe Cam Newton can get better. He went out, fired Shula and Mike Shula as the offensive coordinator, went and got Norv Turner. And Norv Turner, to me, is one of the most respected as far as teaching quarterbacks how to read defenses, what type of theme they're going to have, game in and game out, and really concentrating on their fundamentals. That's what Norv Turner does. That's what Troy Aikman rants and raves about him, other quarterbacks that have been with him, that not a great head coach, but a great quarterback coach and a great offensive coordinator. And he has helped calm down Cam's game. He has helped Cam be able to find some things that he really does well and be able to concentrate and keep repeating those over and over and over again. And I think that's the reason why we see Cam, Nick, with the highest completion percentage that we've seen in his career.
But like the high prior to this year was less than 62%. This year is over 67%. You were banging the Norv Turner drum from the moment he was hired. And Norv Turner, I think, more skeptical of. I know I was more skeptical of him than you. I think because what I had in my mind's eye was the head coaching stuff, where he has not been successful. But maybe I need to start looking at Norv Turner like Wade Phillips, where a guy who is not necessarily the guy you want as your head coach. But if he can be your coordinator, for Wade, obviously, defensively, you're going to get better. And where Cam has been awesome this year is he's taking care of the football. He hasn't had those peaks and valleys like we've seen over the course of his career. He's taking care of the football. He's still running the ball himself, but he doesn't have to run it as much because they have more of a short and intermediate passing game that can take care of that. And Christian McCaffrey has been a spectacular weapon for them as of late. Yesterday, he had 78 receiving, 79 rushing. So all of that has turned the Panthers all of a sudden. We're talking about the Saints, and we should. Panthers got 2 losses. Saints have 1, and they haven't played each other yet. They played each other twice in the final 2 weeks or the final 3 weeks of the season. So the Panthers still have everything in front of them this year.
When we're breaking down the NBA, we always talk about high efficiency being shot selection and what guys do. CC, for me, with Cam Newton, explain what exactly he's changed with his decision-making that's allowed him to make this jump.
Yeah, just like the NBA, I think that if you were trying to correct someone shooting, first thing you would do is find out where they're shooting from, what spots they want to shoot from, what are their good spots, and what are the bad spots. And I think that Norv Turner, he looked at all the games that Cam's played in and looked at when is Cam efficient. And what he's taken away is probably the least efficient part of Cam's game. That's throwing the ball deep down the field. So in NBA, I'm not going to limit your three-point ability, but I'm going to limit the types of three-pointers you're going to. So now, Cam, you can see a shorter, more concise passing attack. You can see the percentages going up, but it's also gone into his confidence. Just like a shooter, he gets more good results. You can see it carrying over into the rest of his game. He's a better leader when you don't have those peaks and valleys. And on the sideline this year, Cam, for some reason, has been less emotional, up and down, than any other part of his career that I've seen. So he's kind of stabilized that as the face of that franchise.
And the other thing that's happened for the Panthers is there is what appears to be a very clear line of demarcation, a turning point in their season. And that was that fourth quarter against Philly. They're down 17-0 in that fourth quarter against Philly, on their way to falling to 3-3. They come back from 17-0, scored 21 straight. The next week, they come out and blitz Baltimore early, I think up 24-7 at the end of the first half. They come out this week and blitz Tampa early, up 35-7 at the end of the first half. Like, that Philly game changed, to me, the trajectory of where they are. And we have talked about how within a game, Cam's confidence level, like if he's feeling good, if he's smiling, if he's signaling for first downs, he's going to play better. That confidence level, to me, has carried over from that comeback against Philly. That comeback against Philly showed them how good they can be. And since then, that offense has looked absolutely outstanding. Doesn't hurt they got Greg Olsen back. Doesn't hurt that they're getting more out of Curtis Samuel. You saw him on a big end around yesterday. DJ Moore had a big play the week before. Those young receivers coming into their own.
And the constant, even though you talked about they losing Wilkes as their defense coordinator, Arizona. Eric Washington, new defensive coordinator. He was pretty adamant several weeks ago when I talked with him about going out and getting players like Eric Reed. It really speaks to the leadership they have in that locker room. We're gonna have a theme going down the stretch. Teams trying to get better and teams saying they're wanting to win. Green Bay, they say they want to win, but how are they actually trying to get better? Carolina, they did what was best for their team. They needed a safety. They went out and signed Eric Reed.
And I want to give them credit on the Eric Reed thing because they also, on their team website this weekend, did an interview with him. Because Eric Reed obviously wasn't in the league, seemingly because he was kneeling during the anthem. They did an interview with him where he talked about how his mother was active duty military. He has 10 military. They are leaning into it. They are not trying to hide who Eric Reed is and how is he paying them forward. Well, he had a huge interception in yesterday's game early, almost returned for a touchdown. He's been one of the best mid-season additions any team has made this season. They didn't have to give up anything for him. He was off there on the street. 32 teams could have signed him. That new owner in Carolina greenlit it. He's been a big addition to their team.
We're going to talk about the team headed in the other direction coming up. Is John Harbaugh coaching for his job? That's next on First Things First.